Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. My name is Katana Malinowski, and I am the host of Transformational Art with Katana, making the unmanageable manageable. Welcome. Today we have the beautiful Elvira V, miracle mindset coach healer and artistic healer, and the founder of the Love Your Vibe Transformation. Hello, Elvira.
Hello, Katana. Thank you for inviting me. This is awesome. I'm so excited for you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to have you here today. Oh,
Oh,
so happy to have
so
you
great
here.
to be here.
So the theme of the show is really about getting to know the people, the guests that are coming on the show, and to shine a light on you. And so today we're going to start with the question of who is Elvira Hopper as a person?
She's crazy. No, I just thought I would start with that. No, actually, I am a little crazy. I own my crazy. You weren't expecting that, were you? I just feel that we need to own everything that we are. And I am all about fun. I'm all about creativity. I'm all about being authentic and, being like, I can be a dork. I can be cheesy. I can be weird. Right. And although I look kind of corporate, right. So I kind of think that, my tribe and me are the same. We're these like, little kids inside, we're hippies. We just want to see the world, peace, love, and joy and all those kind of things. And we're heart centered and we're sensitive. And, so I think, I'm just kind of describing a few things off the top of my head that I see myself as, but I'm also fierce. I'm also here to make the planet a better place with my why, right? The why stands for the world helped or healed by you, right? Your why. So I own that fiercely and humbly because it's not about me. It's not about my ego. So I just want to see a world where we're all living aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed. That is the world that I want to live in. That's the world I want my grandchildren to live in. And well, my children and my grandchildren, and I only have one child, but I feel like if we could all live, being our true selves without the ego mask, without, all the negative things that come about when we're not healed and we just project out into the world. We're either triggered or we're projecting, and that's the way we're living. It's not a good way to live. But if we did the inner work, if we healed, through your beautiful art, through my beautiful healing art, my healing art, my coaching, I offer my modalities, you offer yours. There's so many great modalities on the planet. If people just took advantage of these ways of showing up where they do their inner work, I think it could be heaven on earth. And like I said, that's the world I want us all to live in, and our children and our grandchildren and their children. And yeah, that's the world I want to help co-create.
And that is so beautiful because, we share similarities in our missions. I'm looking to empower 10,000 people over the next 10 years, which sounds huge in so many ways, but then
No.
through the experiences we've had over the last several months, I realize it may not be as big as it appears. And but to empower people to be the best version of themselves and have more joy and peace in their lives is just tremendous.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
You were
know
able to do it and you want to help others, right? So
oh
I just learned this new term today in our group, right? So we're with AG's movement makers. Shout out to him. We love
yes.
AG. And we did this cool little exercise in a breakout room. And one of our movement maker sisters, Joy, who's an amazing woman, she talks about being a acharya. So we talk about, gurus, right? People that are born, just knowing, right? Those are the gurus, right? But then acharyas, and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. So someone's probably laughing, going, no, it's not pronounced that way. But acharyas are people that have gone through something, and then they can help others because they've been through it, right? So you've been through your breakdown that led through to your breakthrough. So now you get to help people heal with your healing arts. I went through my breakdown, and I was divinely gifted with a system that I was the first person served by it. I didn't invent it. I channeled it. And so now I'm an acharya as well, right? So I just learned that term today. Isn't that cool?
Yes. Yes. It's interesting, the different terms that are out there for all these different ways of approaching things. And I like to believe that though I did create the system I use, the transformational art system that I use, it was something that was, divinely gifted to me, that, the nudges that eventually turned into avalanches, because some of us take a little bit longer to hear those.
Yep. You need the frying pan to the head sometimes if you're not listening, right? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And it, in many ways, we share a similarity because we're both bringing out that creative side of people to help them.
Yeah.
And to live through that. So I'm curious as to what makes you happy.
Oh my gosh, so many things make me happy. My work is about living in a high vibration, which is a happy state. So I live my life virtually 98% happy. Okay. I know that sounds weird, but trust me, it wasn't always this way. There was a time when it was very, very sad. And I put on a smile and pretended everything was okay. Cause I'm a former people pleaser. I'm a former imposter. I'm a former, crap magnet, as I like to say, right? Because I was always vibrating low. I had depression, anxiety, panic disorder because I lived out of alignment. This is what happens to us when we live out of alignment. We can be crap magnets, right? And I had to live like that most of my life, to then have a final breakdown in my last 2 years of my corporate job. I was a successful, award-winning, 6-figure earning pharmaceutical rep. And when I had my breakdown, it led to the breakthrough. And the breakthrough was being divinely gifted with Love Your Vibe. It's now become a world movement. People are using it to help others on a foundation of my platform, teaching level A, but then more importantly, they also have their level B programs, and they get to teach those as well. So it's a hub of personal development for heart-centered humans. And really, everything that we do is about getting into that zone where you are happy. It's just naturally the byproduct of you living in alignment, right? Aligned, authentic, and fully self-expressed. And me getting the pinnacle of my happiness was becoming a professional jazz singer at the age of 51. It was a childhood dream when I was 11 to be a jazz singer. And I got it 40 years later because I had to pick not one, but 2 inauthentic healthcare careers where I was this rock star healthcare person, first working in cancer research in a hospital lab, and then the pharmaceutical industry. But neither of those 2 things were who I truly was. But I'm here to say that, I was able to get through those dark places. Ego got me through, right? Our ego wants to protect us. So I kept smiling and pretending everything was okay. But on the inside, I struggled with depression, anxiety, panic disorder, at the lowest suicidal ideation, more than once. I just know that I had to go there to get here. And now I have a system that keeps me here virtually all the time. So I only do things that keep me happy. In answer to your question, I love my vibe, right? I'm using my jargon. I'm loving my vibe because I do things that I love, that I am meant to do, that bring me joy. I like to say to my teams, if it ain't in your joy, passion, and genius zone, it ain't your job. So I invite people, entrepreneurs especially, to realize they can't do everything themselves, but they should do things that bring them joy, that's in their genius zone, that keep them happy, because that's a high vibration. And when you're vibrating at this level, you become a miracle magnet. People want to help you. People come out of nowhere. I want to be part of your team. I want to buy your product. Our vibration is everything. And so my vibration is almost, I'm going to say 100% happy. Yeah, shit happens in my life too, but I'm able to process and understand, what am I supposed to learn here? And then I get back into my zone again. Right. So it's a shifting. And I've shifted so much over the last 11 plus years since I got this system, that this has become my new go-to. My neuroplasticity has actually changed. I used to be a negative, depressed, anxious person. I am now a happy, productive, happy person. So virtually everything makes me happy because I choose to be happy. So does that answer your question?
Yes. And yes. And
yeah.
What you have to say resonates with me so much, because it is about choices.
Yeah.
And
choice is everything.
Oh yeah. And we can choose at any moment. That's the magic.
Yeah.
It even AG, again, giving a shout out to another
we love him.
unique genius person. And yes, we do love him. But you have that moment to stop and shift and make a new choice that clears it all out, start again, clear. And, like you, I use my method, and I'm at that point where it's pretty much all the time. As a matter of fact, yesterday I was having a conversation with someone, and I tried to access a negative statement that I had made years ago. I couldn't remember the word.
Yay.
You've reached a certain level when you actually forget what the term was.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I like that.
Yeah.
So
that's neuroplasticity, right? Our brains change when we start instilling new tapes, new patterns, right? It's just the old just goes away, right? And actually this weekend I'm learning hypnosis to help it happen even faster, which I think is really cool. Always been curious about hypnosis because apparently I can help people stop smoking and lose weight and stop anxiety, right? A lot of people struggling with anxiety right now. So I was called to do this as another modality, right? So I have a whole bunch of modalities, not just coaching, but I'm adding, hypnosis because our brains can rewire, right? So your brain, we rewired so much so that you forgot that negative term, right? Which is, it's a miracle to me. It's just a really cool miracle. Yeah.
It really is. So that leads me to the next question. What is it that makes you sad or angry?
Yeah. Sad and angry. Let me see. Sad. I'm going to say I actually felt sad yesterday. So this is good. This is a good example. I was talking to my mother, but something good came out of it, right? So I used my sadness and made something good. So being really vulnerable here. So we were chatting on the phone, and my mom, God bless her, she's a sweet 82-year-old widow. My dad died 10 years ago this May. God rest your soul, Daddy. And we were chatting about how she's like an incredible seamstress. She's like a master tailor. She does incredible stuff. Like she made my wedding dress, all my bridesmaids, her own dresses. Anyway, it was just because Italians wear two dresses, right? So my mother had her day dress, her night dress. She made all the dresses, and she's an amazing seamstress. And she was talking about how she loves making baby clothes and how she made every single one of her friends' grandchildren. She made them a baby dress, and she made baptism clothes for my cousin's kids. And she made all these clothes. And then it dawned on me, I don't have one thing of what she made me when I was a little girl. And I got sad. And I said that to her. I said, Mom, isn't it sad that we came to Canada and I don't have one thing of what you made me? Oh, yeah. And then she started talking about somebody else and the clothes she made them. She totally ignored my emotions.
Yeah.
And so I was listening to that and I felt really sad. Like my mother was ignoring my emotions. And I know she's doing the best she can. Maybe she couldn't deal with my sadness, but I expressed it and I felt shut down. I wasn't seen, right?
Right.
I talk about in the Love Your Vibe transformation, it's basically small communities of people doing this inner work together where everyone feels seen, safe, celebrated, and supported, because we believe it's an incubator for healing and growth to greatness, right? Well, my mother, I didn't feel seen, safe, celebrated, or supported, right? I didn't feel any of those things. And so I felt sad. But here's what I did with it. I sat with it. I said, Mom, I got to go. And I just hung. Oh, do you have to go somewhere? Yeah, I got to work. I was just sad. And then my sad turned to angry. I just wanted to hang up on her. I got angry. So I hung up and I said, wow, I feel sad that my mother, the story I told myself as a child is she really didn't love me. My mother was not an affectionate person. I am a super affectionate person. My mother is a very, matter of fact, very exact person. She has OCD, God bless her. Right. So she has to control things. Everything is very, much controlled. I remember being 16 years old and having, this big issue with a guy. And I wanted to just sit down and talk to my mother. My mother couldn't sit down and talk to her 16-year-old daughter. She said, I'm too busy cleaning. I can't help you out. She could not help me out because she didn't know what to do for me. I was an emotional child. She was not emotional, right? So it's like there was this sense of her numbing out was going to clean the kitchen. That was her way of calming herself. She had OCD. She had to clean. She was always cleaning, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's all she knew, right? But at the time I thought my mother doesn't love me, right? So I grew up with that sad story that I told myself. Well, here's the cool thing. When I had my own child, who's 27 in May, I had mommy issues. So I went to therapy to work out my mommy issues. It took me 2 years to be able to say this. My mom did the best that she could from her state of consciousness. If she had known better, she would have done better. And that's how I got to make peace with my own mother. And that's how I got to be a better mother to my own child. Because when my child was born, I struggled because I had mommy issues. I didn't know how to be a good mother, right? My mother wasn't the kind of mother I wanted, but she was the kind of mother I needed to turn me into who I am today. I am a sensitive yet fierce badass. I am an empath. I can feel deeply because I have been hurt. I've been hurt deeply. And therefore, I can help others to the other side because I have compassion. I don't have judgment for them, but I have a system that can keep us all over here. Vibe and high, loving our vibe, right?
Yes.
So I'm super grateful to her. She was one of my biggest angels of evolution. That's one of the terms in my program. People that push your buttons, that maybe force you. Like I was bullied corporately for 2 years. At work, I attracted another bully socially. I realized after 2 years, I was the common denominator. That's when I got Love Your Vibe. And I realized, those two people did me the biggest favor by bullying me and hating me and shaming me, making me a laughing stock at work and socially. They did me the biggest favor. They forced me out of a life that I would have probably never left had I not been so uncomfortable and wanted to die at the end of it. So they forced me out of my inauthentic crap magnet life to live my truth. So I am super grateful to both of these people because they forced me to do the work. My mother forced me to do the work on myself as well. So now we have an incredible relationship. My mom and I are best friends because I've done my inner work. This is what's possible. She hasn't done the inner work, but I have. So yesterday, here's an example of what I did. She called me later in the evening. I could tell she wasn't comfortable with how we dropped off the call. I left it very quickly. And I said, Mom, I want to apologize to you. I left you really, really quickly today because I was triggered because you were talking about all these beautiful outfits that you made for all these other people. And I felt like you didn't care enough to save one little dress when we came over to Canada. And she goes, well, that wasn't the thing we did at the time. We gave away clothes and this and that. She got very defensive, right? And I went into, Mom, I understand, but here's the thing. You didn't hear my emotions this morning when I talked about them. I was feeling sad. I just wanted you to acknowledge my feelings. Well, you know
Yeah.
what? That's not what we do. And that. She got very defensive, so much so that she started yelling. And I just said, Mom, I can't talk to you anymore. And I hung up because I
Right.
wasn't going to allow her to yell at me that way. So then 10 minutes went by. I phoned her back and I said, look, Mom, I'd like to speak very clearly with you
Mm-hmm.
about what happened. I want you to understand I love you. I adore you. You're my mother. You're my best friend. And well, kind of a lie. My husband's my best friend, but they're both right up there, right?
Yeah.
So I said, I want you to understand that I felt sad this morning when you talked about all these people loving your little dresses, and I, your daughter, does not have one. I felt sad. And all I needed you to do in that moment was say, Elvira, I feel you. I wish I had saved one. And I'm sorry that I didn't. And,
Yeah.
and maybe we would have both had a good cry and we would have cleared and we would have felt even closer. But you didn't do that. And I'm not telling you that you should have known how to do that, but I'm letting you know that now, because moving forward, I'd like us to have an amazing relationship. And so I'm letting you know that if I express sadness, allow me to feel the sadness, because the sadness is going to lift. Right. And you can give your friends a gift as well, because when they're feeling sad, just listen to them and they're going to process and they're going to let go as well. So you are an amazing person and people love you. And I think this is another gift you can give them. And she said, thank you very much, Elvira. I really appreciate this conversation. I said, I love you, Mom. And we hung up. Now, if people on the planet could talk like that and just be able to share their truth and share their sadness and share what's bothering them and be able to have this kind of conversation with their parents, they will heal deeper themselves and they will heal their parents. Other generations will heal. I bet you my son is going to heal because I was able to get this close with my mother. And so the three of us, I believe, have healed because of that conversation. Does this resonate with you at all?
Oh, yes. It's part of the generational healing. Mm-hmm. So as one generation begins the process, the next generation benefits. And the further that goes down the line, the longer that trend will continue.
Yeah. Oh, I just got chills. Yeah, absolutely.
I know that it's happening within my own family dynamic.
Yeah.
I am coming about it at my own particular approach with the transformational art, and
love what you do. Yeah.
Thank you. And helping make the unmanageable manageable, and the empowerment in reclaiming that inner strength that provides. And then my cousin has written a book and does life coaching. So we're both in that same age group. We went through a lot of the same things.
Yeah.
And we know that it's bringing healing. And yes, there is some denial by the people that perpetrated the hurt in the first place.
Yeah.
And I do believe that it's our responsibility to help them understand that we're not coming from the place of criticism.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're coming from the place of healing.
Yes. Yes. Oh, love
so
that.
So that they can embrace that. And yes. Oh my gosh. Communication.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things that I also work on, because part of the process and journey that I take my clients through involves, journaling and free writing and communication. So it's a combination of vernaculars, and you understand that. I know you do.
Yeah. Yeah. No, journaling's big because it helps us understand our feelings, our emotions. And when we can feel, when we can be real, have the courage to be real, we can feel and heal. I actually mentioned that on my YouTube show today, and that's where we have to do the work. The inner work is about being real and feeling and healing. And then we are freed. And another layer has been taken off. It's not to say we're perfect, but it's another layer taken off, and it just lightens us, right? That's what enlightenment is all about. Just getting lighter and lighter and lighter, right?
Yeah. Yes. perfection isn't what we're looking for.
Oh, my
Perfection is
God.
definitely not it.
Do it messy, do it real. And I always say real trumps perfect, because
Yes.
I'd rather be real than perfect. And that's actually what allowed me to become a professional jazz singer at the age of 51, Katana. I literally let go of the idea of being perfect on the stage and I went for real instead. And you know what? People seem to like that, and it
Yes.
helps people to heal. So I've become a sacred sound healer because I'm using my voice to help people heal. It's not just to look good on a jazz stage, but it's to inspire you to go do your thing later in life. Because I did this professionally at
Yes.
51, and I've been realizing getting off the stage that so many people cry, and they realized, oh my God, your voice, the way you sang that song, it was my mother's favorite. I didn't realize I was still grieving her, and now I've released and I feel inner peace. And I'm like, cool, right? And it's like I didn't know I was doing that for many years, but in the last couple of years I became a sacred sound healer, and I realized, that's why I became an artist, to help people heal, right? And I'm also a jewelry designer. I make
I
beautiful
know.
jewelry that
So
has,
beautiful.
thank you. Yeah, it has symbols on it, and then I bless it. I put it in my sound bowls and I bless it so that
Ooh.
when people wear my jewelry, they feel amazing. And I said, yeah, it's the sound healing energy, and also I'm a Reiki healer, so it's the Reiki healing as well. So that's what they're picking up on, because it actually does go into inanimate objects, right? The vibrations actually do go in, and so yeah, it's just so beautiful. That's what, to me, that's what life is about, being real, feeling, healing, and just serving with your higher purpose, your
Yes.
bigger gift. And I love that we're both doing this in such a big way with AG Marishta and movement makers, our beautiful communities. Oh my God, we're so blessed. We're in the same little pod with all these beautiful goddesses, and we're all doing this
Yeah.
amazing work together, supporting one another. Yeah, it's just so juicy, isn't it?
Yes. And that's going to lead me into my next question.
Sure.
But before I do that, I just want to say that when you talked about the putting the jewelry in your sound bowls,
Yeah.
they are loving your vibration. Just
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Totally.
so when you were growing up, what did you want to be?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, when I was 11 years old, I wanted to be a jazz singer. I saw a bunch of beautiful women at a cabaret show. I was the only kid in the
Oh,
audience, and I saw them singing and dancing. And I just wanted to be an entertainer. I just wanted to be on stage and
mhm.
make people smile and entertain them. And afterwards, my dad brought me backstage because he worked downstairs and the cabaret show was going on upstairs. And he introduced me to these women, and I was this plump little Italian kid that was 11 years old, because when we came to Canada when I was 5 from Italy, where I was born, I was a skinny little kid, but I was a very sensitive artistic child. So I ate my emotions, and my parents weren't very happy, therefore I wasn't very happy. So from 5 to 11, I had ballooned up into this little chubby thing. And um and I remember, but I was always a singer and dancer from when I leapt out of the womb. And I just remember, watching these beautiful goddesses on stage. And then, like I said, I was this fat little Italian kid. So we went backstage and my dad introduced me to these women, and I felt like I was meeting the queens of the world.
Mm,
It was so amazing. And they looked at me and they're like, "Joe, this is your daughter. She's so beautiful." And I'm thinking, I'm beautiful. I'm a fat little Italian kid. You're beautiful. So I fell in love with these women even more. And I felt like these
right.
women saw me. I literally was just a few years behind them, but they knew that I was one of them. They must have seen the gleam in my eye. And, anyways, when I walked away from these beautiful women, I looked in my daddy's eyes and I said, "Daddy, I want to be one of them when I grow up." And you know what my dad said?
That's
Well, let me give you a quick backstory on him. My dad could sing like Pavarotti,
mm,
but
mhm.
his fam and his sister was on world-class opera stages. When she got married, she had to hang up her opera gown, put on an apron, never got to step on foot another opera stage again.
Ooh,
Her brother, my dad, was an incredible tenor, but never got to step on foot a big stage. She was a little bit older than him. The family mindset was that good, serious people are fathers and mothers and providers. They are not on stages singing or dancing or whatever the heck they do up on stages. So imagine my father, when his little 11-year-old daughter said, "Daddy, I want to be one of them." A little plump Italian Catholic daughter. Well, here's what he said to me, Katana. "Elvira, you can't be one of them because those women are sluts." And that was it. I wasn't allowed to be me anymore. I asked my little 11-year-old self, "Okay, Daddy, I'm not allowed to be who I want to be. Who do you need me to be so you will love me?" Yeah. And that's when the imposter behavior started. That's when the living out of alignment started. That's when people pleasing started. That's when I call this story the makings of a crap magnet, because that's when I started being a crap magnet. And I had to live that way up until my mid to late 40s to have a breakdown, to have a breakthrough, to show people that it's never too late to create the life of your dreams. I work and perform on world-class jazz stages. I perform and record on world-class jazz stages with award-winning artists. I perform for celebrities such as Oprah Winfrey's man, Stedman Graham. If you Google Stedman Graham, Elvira Hopper, you'll see a video of me singing to him. And it's all about not me bragging, but it's all about me wanting to share the message that it's never too late to get aligned, authentic, and fully self-expressed. My daddy wasn't quite so lucky. My daddy lived out of alignment and wasn't able to be the artist that he truly was. He got bullied in his 50s. He had a nervous breakdown, Katana. He had to go on meds for the rest of his life. And so when I hit my rock bottom, I said, my story will not end like my dad's. To my higher power, I said, give me a way out of this hell. That's not drugs, because my dad took drugs and I was a drug rep. I knew what they did to us. And that's not therapy, because I wanted it fast. I didn't want to wait 2 more years, right? Or give me a way of killing myself. I was at that moment of surrender, right? Oprah talks about when she surrendered all, that's when all the miracles found her. I got chills. And that's when it happened for me as well. I literally said, I don't want to live anymore if I'm supposed to live like this. I thought my one child was better off without me as a mother. That's how sad and anxious and angry I was. I was literally living so out of alignment that I didn't even know myself anymore. Well, I never really knew myself. I mean, you know, the self that before I was 11 was pretty much me. So, you know, going back to your question, what was your original question? What did I want to be when I was a kid? I wanted to be an entertainer. Yeah. And a teacher, which was really cool too, because I enjoyed teaching, you know, playing. Some people played school, some people played house. I was always the teacher, right? So interestingly enough, I'm now a teacher. I'm now an entertainer. How cool is that, right? So
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah. So many of us deny aspects of ourselves and we don't even realize where that comes from. And it is those small but very powerful moments. Yeah. When somebody says, you can't do that. And why? You know, and you reminded me of a moment that I had with my grandmother that was very similar. And you just don't even realize where those things creep in and how much they hold you back. And I am so glad that you and people like myself and so many of the other beautiful people that we get to work with and know are out there to help people see that it's not too late. Yeah. You know, I'm going to be 55 and I know you've got a birthday coming up.
60 this year. Yes. You're a baby. Yeah.
But I hear so many people that are, you know, our age or even younger say that it's too late. And it's like, no,
so sad. No, it's never too late.
No.
You know what? Our brains are so neuroplastic, Katana, you know this, but our brains are so neuroplastic till the day we die. Like I said to my mother yesterday, Mom, you're 82, but if you like this new way of being a listener, holding space for people's emotions, if you like this, you can do this too. It's not too late for you. And she was so inspired, right? Because
Yeah.
I wasn't blaming and shaming her. I was showing her what was possible for her. Like, oh my God, what a healing moment. I feel so blessed that I went through it. Yeah. That we went through it. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like it was a conversation that many people long for. You know,
Probably. Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
I think that the relationships that we have with our families are some of the most difficult to work through, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you believe, that there's more of a spiritual realm going on, you might want to believe that we chose our families for our soul's
Mhm.
expansion and evolution. So I know that I picked the perfect mother to turn me into who I was meant to be. I know I picked the perfect father that turned me into who I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
I chose them before I came here. Do you believe that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah. We
very
chose them.
much about that. Yes.
Yeah.
So I know that you've touched on it a little bit, but would you mind sharing what it was that got you on your path that you're on today?
Yeah, thank you. So the path that I'm on today was as a result of my biggest breakdown that led to the biggest breakthrough. As I mentioned, when I hit my rock bottom, Katana, I didn't want to live anymore. I thought my child was better off without me. I was being bullied corporately, then socially for 2 years, where I was treated like a piece of dirt in these two different areas of my life. And literally, I just got out of bed to feed my child and get him off to school some days. That's all I had the energy to do. And thank God for that, because I had to go that dark in my life in order to have it's a bit of a longer story, but I basically had a breakdown in front of my manager, in front of a client, where it looked like Elvira totally lost her marbles. And I asked for a leave of absence. And I am so grateful for that moment where I literally, uh, not to make it too mysterious, the client or the doctor that I was calling on at the time said something simple like, "So what's the dosage, Elvira?" And I started talking gibberish. I didn't make sense anymore. I had reached an end point where, because I literally started getting downloaded Love Your Vibe and realized, oh my God, if I'm being bullied over here and being bullied over here, well, guess what? I'm the common denominator. If I brought this on with my vibration, I'm going to undo this with my vibration. And I realized I can't work happily at this job anymore. How can I ever go back and fix my reputation? All these people hate me and think I'm a piece of dirt. So I said, okay, I don't belong in this industry, in this company and in this industry. I realized that 2 years before, and I'd been bullied for 2 years. So look at the map. 2 years before, I saw a friend leave the pharmaceutical industry to become a coach. And I saw how happy, I didn't even know what a coach was at that time, but I saw how happy and grounded she was. And I saw that she had totally transformed as a person. She used to be this crazy drug rep like me. Now she was so calm and serene, connected to her bigger purpose. And I said, I don't know what she did, but one day I'm doing it too. And sure enough, my boss got let go the next week I went into work. I competed for his job. It got ugly politically. That was the beginning of the end. The universe conspired to get me out of this inauthentic life to live my truth. And so that I had to be bullied for 2 years to eventually leave, right? The frying pan to the head, right? And that was it. So when I was divinely gifted at my lowest point, Love Your Vibe, I was told, Elvira, this has saved your sanity, your life, your marriage. It's helped you to, achieve your greatest childhood dream. It's not just for you. It's for you to share with the world. So now it's being shared with the world through the Love Your Vibe transformation, which is a beautiful group of facilitators, heart-centered, beautiful souls that are helping humanity, not just with my story, message, and magic, and all the teachings and tools that came through me. I'm not that smart. Remember, I didn't make them up. They came through me. But more importantly, sharing their own story, message, and magic. Because we believe that when people share the wisdom of their stories with others, others can transform as well. And that's what's happening in the Love Your Vibe transformation. So we have a platform of my teachings and tools, level A. and also a combination of all of their unique teachings and tools as well. So people go to my website and it's like personal development 101 and then 201 and maybe 301 and whatever levels people want to go to, they can achieve on this system. Someone said, Elvira, you're like a modern day Louise Hay. And I'm like, wow, that's a compliment, right? Because Louise Hay is only one of the best people in personal development. But I said, yeah, you know what? I'm going to take that, because what they're trying to say is I'm shining a light on all these people so that they can create an income by helping the world with their story, message, and magic. And that's what she did. She had Hay House Publishing, and I think it's still around. And she brought people all around the world to do the I Can Do It seminars, right? So she was highlighting all these different people. And that's what I'm doing as well. So it's like, yeah, hey, me and Louise, so that's what this work is about.
That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Well, then I guess that leads me to the next question, since we're coming up on the end of our time together here today, and potentially more conversations as
I hope so. We have a lot to do together. Yes. Mental health, mental wellness. It's something we need to spread the word that there's other modalities. There's not just the Western thinking around mental health. And I love that we were both so passionate about that.
Yes.
So I know we need to chat more about that, Katana.
That and the fact that it's whole body health. And that, it matters that the mind, the body, and the spirit are in alignment. So they've got to all be healthy.
Yes.
What is one thing you would tell your 18-year-old self?
Oh my gosh. Well, my 18-year-old self is actually making me a little bit sad right now, because I'm remembering that my daddy had his nervous breakdown when I was 18. And he went into depression and anxiety and panic, which is what I struggled with. The sins of the father were visited onto the child. So what I would tell my 18-year-old self is, sorry, I'm getting emotional. I would say, don't worry, because all this is happening for you, not to you. And your dad is an example of what you're going to help people to escape from, is to die with their real music still in them, not aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed. And my daddy died with cancer, with mental health struggles, with a marriage in shambles. All of this is happening so that one day you're going to help humanity. So that's what I would tell my 18-year-old self, not to worry.
Thank you.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that. Thank you, Katana.
Oh, thank you for sharing you. And that's, how we can reach people and connect with people is heart to heart. And through those similarities. And that by somebody hearing your story today, and however many times this is played, it's going to save their life. And that's what it's about. And I appreciate you. I see you, and I love you very much.
I love you, Katana. Thank you. You are my sister, STAR. You are a bright, shiny star, and you're such an inspiration to me every day.
Thank you. And on that note, how can all these amazing and beautiful people connect with you?
Oh my gosh. I'm everywhere. I've got a YouTube show called Conversations to Raise Vibrations with my amazing partner, Lisa Kelly. And so the show's called Conversations to Raise Vibrations with Lisa Kelly and Elvira V Hopper. We're getting so much amazing feedback from that. So I invite you to subscribe and like and share it if you want to learn more about the teachings and tools and just me using them and Lisa using hers. And we just talk about, the inner work and how important it is in order to live your best life. So that's what that show is about. It's called, it's Let's Live Aligned, Authentic, Fully Self-Expressed, which is like my tagline as well. So that's one way you can connect. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. Instagram, it's at EV Hopper. I also have the at the Love Your Vibe Transformation. There's 2 pages on Instagram. And I also have a website where you can get a free teaching, if you like, from my course. That's the foundation of all this work. And I teach 1 lesson free on my website. So it's elvirahopper.com. So yeah, I hope that it's not too overwhelming sharing all those different handles.
No, absolutely not. And of course, there will be an opportunity to have that in print so that they can
Oh,
go back
good.
and see those as well.
Great.
Well, Elvira, I can't say thank you enough for
Thank
being on
you.
my show and sharing you and your beautiful process in your life with the audience today. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gitana.
You have a beautiful rest of your day.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Transformational Art with Katana. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and share the link to this podcast with your family and friends. To connect with me personally, please send an email to transformationalartwithkatana@gmail.com. Have a beautiful day.